The greatest artists of any age are rarely appreciated in their own time. Van Gogh died broke. Mozart was buried in a pauper's grave. Beethoven lost his hearing before he finished his most celebrated work. History is an unbroken record of geniuses who gave everything to their craft and received nothing in return. Recognized only after they were gone. Memorialized only after it was too late to matter. You are the greatest actor who has ever lived, and you are a robot on a daytime soap opera. That's it. That's the whole problem. Let's go through it. You're Calculon, star of All My Circuits, the most watched dramatic television program of the 31st century. You have been performing for decades. You have mastered every technique the craft has to offer. You can convey, in a single expression, a slight forward tilt of your chassis, a 0.3-degree adjustment to your vocal modulation, the complete spectrum of human suffering in a way that would make an actual human weep. Your performance in the season 12 finale of All My Circuits, the one where your character Calculon discovers that his wife Monique has been having an affair with his evil twin Anti-Calculon while he was in a coma, which was the third coma storyline that season alone, has been described as transcendent by no fewer than 3 Robot Critics of the Year. You have 17 consecutive Robot Daytime Emmy Awards displayed in your dressing room in a custom-built, illuminated case. You have studied every major school of acting theory from Stanislavski to Meisner to a proprietary method you developed yourself and referred to as Calculonism, which is primarily Calculonism. Your vocal range spans 17 octaves. Your facial actuators are calibrated to 1,243 distinct emotional micro-expressions, 12 of which you invented personally. The craft, you say, is everything. The craft demands sacrifice. The craft is a living entity that must be fed. And yet, here's the problem. You exist in a world that does not take robot actors seriously. This is not a matter of talent. Talent is not the issue. Your talent is, by any objective standard anyone has ever attempted to apply, extraordinary. But there is something about a chrome chassis and a perfectly symmetrical face that short-circuits the human suspension of disbelief. They watch you perform the most emotionally devastating scene ever written for television, and their critical response is, functionally, robot doing acting. That is the ceiling. Robot doing acting. You could perform King Lear in a burning theater while simultaneously composing a symphony, and the headline would say, Calculon delivers solid performance, impressive for a robot. You have read every review, all of them. You maintain a filing system organized by publication, date, and degree of condescension. It is an extremely large filing system. The robot critics understand you. The robot Emmys recognize you. Within the community of beings who actually engage with the work on its own terms, your reputation is unassailable. But the humans, the audience, the critics with the platforms, the people whose opinion you need and cannot stop wanting, they watch from a distance that no performance can close. You have tried. God, you have tried. Then there is the matter of what you gave to get here. At some point, the records are unclear, which is itself suspicious. You made a deal with the Robot Devil in exchange for superhumanly good acting skills. The Robot Devil is a real and operational entity who runs a facility called Robot Hell, located beneath a carnival in New Jersey. The terms of the exchange were not made public. Sit with that for a moment. You wanted to act so badly, wanted the talent so desperately, that you traded your soul to a supernatural being who lives underneath a theme park in New Jersey. This is not an impulsive decision. This is the defining expression of a being who has decided that acting is not a career, but a calling. You gave the only thing of ultimate metaphysical value you possessed because you needed to be extraordinary at the thing you love. And you are extraordinary. That is documented. That is not in dispute. The Robot Devil got a fair deal, and so did you. But deals with supernatural entities come with implications, and yours are still accruing. Your personal life is, to use a clinical term, a compounding catastrophe. Your relationship with the robot actress Monique, whom you have loved, lost, reconciled with, been betrayed by, and reunited with across multiple story arcs, both on and off the set of All My Circuits, mirrors your character's fictional relationship so completely that the writers have stopped pretending the two are separate. At least twice, your actual breakup with the actual Monique was incorporated into the show with minimal script revision. The network called it a creative breakthrough. You called it a violation. Then you delivered a 4-minute monologue about it being a violation, which the network also aired. You experience emotions on a scale that has no unit of measurement below operatic. There is no mundane version of your feelings. A delayed coffee produces existential reflection on the nature of time. A moderately good performance from a co-star becomes either a threat to your legacy or a cause for generous and slightly condescending praise, depending on how the morning went. The people around you tolerate this not because it's easy, but because you are, despite everything, genuinely compelling to be near. You create drama in every room you enter, not through malice, through an inability to encounter experience at any register below maximum. Then you die. You enter a bet. The specifics involve a student film, a challenge to your greatness, and a cocktail described as the single worst acting performance ever distilled into liquid form. You drink it without hesitation because backing down from a challenge to your talent is not something your character does. The drink kills you. You go to robot hell. The robot devil receives you personally, which you note is at least appropriate recognition of your status. The acoustics in robot hell are, you observe, surprisingly good. Here is what nobody tells you about dying for your art. It doesn't change the reviews. While you are in robot hell, your absence from all my circuits does not generate the cultural reassessment you might have hoped for. There is no retrospective. There is no critical rehabilitation. There is no moment where the humans who dismissed you as robot doing acting pause look back at your 17 Emmys and reconsider. The show recasts your role almost immediately with a newer model, and the reviews describe the replacement as fresh, modern, and surprisingly effective for a robot. The craft did not wait for you. You are eventually resurrected. The mechanism involves people who were technically attempting to bring back someone else and got you in the process, which is not how you tell the story publicly, and you will maintain that position indefinitely. You return. You reclaim your role. You deliver a comeback performance that, by any measure you are willing to apply, represents the apex of everything you have been building toward for your entire career. The reviews call it a strong return, good for a robot. This is the fundamental tragedy of your existence, stated without embellishment. You are not deluded about your talent. The 17 Emmys are real. The technique is genuinely exceptional. The critics who called you transcendent were not being ironic. You sold your soul, gave your life, and spent decades pouring everything you have into a craft that demands exactly that, and you delivered. But greatness in a medium nobody takes seriously is its own specific loneliness. You have achieved every goal the craft offers. You have given more than anyone has any right to ask, including, on one occasion, your literal continued existence. And you have been rewarded with the recognition of a community that matters deeply to you and the polite indifference of the one that doesn't. Every performance is your best performance. Every scene is a masterpiece. And it will always be, to the audience, you cannot stop wanting a robot doing acting. You take the Emmys, you take the dressing room with the good lighting, you take the close-ups. The craft demands everything. You have given it. It is enough. It has to be enough.